Welcome to Frances Reads Her Bible. Today, I'm moving on to Genesis 37. And Genesis chapter 37 is about Joseph and his brothers. So, Jacob continued to live in the land of Canaan where his father had lived. And this is the story of Jacob's family. Joseph, a young man of 17, took care of the sheep and goats with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's concubines. He brought bad reports to his father about what his brothers were doing. And Jacob loved Joseph more than all his other sons because he had been born to him when he was old. He made a long robe with full sleeves for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them, they hated their brother so much that they would not speak to him in a friendly manner. You see, like I said in previous chapters, there's something toxic or dysfunctional about this family. It started with Rebecca, and her children, Esau and Jacob. Then we saw the same thing between Rachel and Leah, who were Rebecca's nieces, born to her brother Laban or Laban. And now here the same thing is repeating. Parents showing favoritism, preferring one child over the other. And in Jacob's case, it's actually expected. He wanted to marry Rachel, but his uncle tricked him. He loved Rachel, but his uncle tricked him and he married Leah, and Leah had six sons, and there were other children involved. Joseph is Rachel's first child for Jacob. So it's no surprise that he loved Joseph a lot. I'm sure by now Benjamin is still a baby. He loved Joseph a whole lot. And Joseph on his own, being close to his father, was a tattletale. He would always tell his father all that his brothers were doing wrong. That sibling that reports everybody's movement to their parents. That's who Joseph was. And he was always spending time with his father. Jacob loved him, gave him a special, robe with full sleeves, made it for him. He would really loved Joseph a lot. Like I said, it was no surprise. And that's the problem with forcing someone to marry you. The way that man loves you will would most times or sometimes transfer to your children. If a man hates you, he's gonna hate those children, you know, or use them to carry out his vendetta against you or towards you. So it's always important to not force certain things like Clay had done. And this is the result. The children are now suffering for the actions of their parents and grandparents. And these kids can't understand why their father prefers Joseph, you know. I wonder if they ever heard the story of what's happened between their parents, how Jacob was tricked into marrying their mother, Leah, you know, instead of marrying Rachel. So it's sad. But even if all the same as parents, even if you don't like your spouse, that child didn't beg to be born, It was your action with the spouse that brought that child into the world. So it's very important to love your children. It doesn't matter how much you hate their mother, hate their father. That's what I'm learning from this few verses. It's important to show love to all your kids and not prefer some. Like I said the same thing when I talked about Esau and Jacob. So one time Joseph had a dream and he told his brothers about it. They hated him even more. In this dream, they were all in the field tying up sheaves of wheat. Then his own sheaf got up and stood up straight. Then theirs formed a circle around his and bowed down to it. And they were like, "Do you think you're going to be a king and rule over us?" So they hated him even more because of his dreams and because of what he said about them. Then he had another dream. And then he told his brothers again, "I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down to me." He also told his father, and his father was, what kind of dream is that? Do you think that your mother, your brothers, and I are going to come and bow down to you? Joseph's brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept thinking about the whole matter. One thing these few verses have taught me, or I have learned from these few verses: keep your dreams to yourself. One, and two, it's not everyone you share your dreams with. You need to know who the person you're sharing your dream with is. Joseph, in his mind, these people are my brothers, but I don't understand why he didn't know that his brothers hated him. If he knew these people hated him so much, he won't go around sharing dreams with him. But in his mind, in his young 17-year-old mind, oh, they're my brothers. They love me. They're my other brothers because he's younger than they are. You know, it's so sad and unfortunate that he shared his dream. He shouldn't have done that. If he'd known, he would have kept his dreams to himself. So it's, as people, it's really important who we share our dreams with, and not just dreams from dreams that we, as in dreams when we sleep, but also our plans, aspirations, desires. I won't lie, I've had an aspiration or two that were shut down by people and they never manifested. I never carried them out. I'm going to be sincere about that. And which is why I think it's very important who you're telling that plan or aspiration or dream with. When you tell them to the right people or to the right person, they propel you. And then sometimes it's not even a must you share it with anybody. Keep it to yourself. Keep that dream, that plan, that vision, whatever God told you. Sometimes you need to keep it to yourself. It's not everything you share. It's not everything you share with people. You don't know who what's in the mind of the people you're sharing with. You might think they're your friends or your family members and they love you. Like in the case of Joseph, he didn't know his brothers hated him. And the more he spoke to them about it, his dreams, the more they hated him. So keep dreams to yourself and be mindful of who you're sharing them with. That's that I've learned from those few verses. And then one day, when Joseph's brothers had gone to Shechem to take care of their father's flock, Jacob said to Joseph, I want you to go into Shechem where your brothers are taking care of the flock. And Joseph like, I'm ready. Of course he's ready. His dad is sending him and they're close and he loves him. So his father told him, go and see if your brothers are safe and if the flock is all right, then come back and tell me. In other words, go and do amebo. Amebo, like, go be a tattletale. Let me know what they're doing there. Come back and report everything to me. And he knew Joseph was going to do that. Oh, I saw Dan doing this. I saw I saw Levi. He was this. Levi was that. And Judah was this. Judah was that. He reports everybody's. So Joseph went. He arrived at Shechem. He was wandering around in the country when a man saw him and asked him, what are you looking for? And he said, I'm looking for my brothers who are taking care of their flock. Can you tell me where they are? And then the man told him that they'd left. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. And then back to what I said in the previous slide about keeping your dreams to yourself and not be mindful of who you share them with. It might not be they're envious or they hate you. It could just be they like Jacob. They don't understand that dream. And because of lack of understanding, they put in doubts, fear, worry, and whatnot into your head that makes the dream, the vision, the goal, the aspiration, whatever it is you had in mind die because you listen to them and it just dies. You don't pursue it anymore. So it could also be that, not just negative um, emotions like hatred and the rest. So his brothers saw him in a distance, and before he reached them, they plotted against him and decided to kill him. They said to one another, here comes that dreamer. Come on now, let's kill him and throw his body into one of the dry wells. We can say that a wild animal killed him, then we'll see what becomes of his dreams. You see what I'm saying? Because he shared his dreams with them and they really hated him, they want to kill him so that his dreams will not manifest. Let's kill him and see what will become of his dreams. They didn't want his dreams to manifest. They didn't want, because he had shared such huge dreams with them in their mind. And out of hatred, they hated him before they found out about the dreams. They don't want those dreams to come to pass. They don't even want to know whether the dreams were supposed to come to pass or not. They just didn't want it to happen at all. To kill his dreams and kill him in the process. See why it's not every dream and aspiration you should share with people. If they never knew about his dreams, would they want to kill him so that they will see what to become of his dreams? No. Joseph would have just been hated. But now it's the dreams that have made them angry and propelled them to want to kill him. So his dreams will not manifest or come to pass. I wonder the brother that said that, let's kill him. I wonder who. And then Reuben heard them. Reuben is the first born son of Jacob. And it was like, let's not kill him. Just throw him into this well in the wilderness, but don't hurt him. He said he's planning to save him from them and send him back to his father. Reuben was the first son and, like the head of the family in place of the father. And he had nine other brothers, aside from Joseph and Benjamin. And they were all men, so he had to be careful here before he turns out to be the person killed. So they did what he suggested. When Joseph came up to his brothers, they ripped up his long robe with full sleeves. They ripped it off his body. Then they took him and threw him into the well, which was dry. And I'm sure Reuben said this. Unfortunately, Reuben left. See, that's the thing. Most times is what we say that people use in judging us, people use in killing us, people use in condemning us, people use in hating us, liking us, or whatever. So, as someone will say, okay, no, they cause quarrel. If you're silent about it, no one will know. No one will try to kill you. No one will hate you for it. No one will be full of envy. So I know what that dream is, that aspiration, that plan. Sometimes you should keep some things between you and God. You know, keep them to yourself or keep it to yourself. So while they were eating, they suddenly saw a group of Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites are the descendants of Ishmael or Ishmael. Ishmael, remember, is the brother, the older brother to Abraham, who who is Jacob's grandfather, and this people, their great grandfather. So so they saw some Ishmaelites traveling from Gilead to Egypt. Their camels were loaded with spices and raisins, and Judah said to his brothers, Judah is the son um of Leah, I think from one of her slaves, or was it one of hers? Can't remember. Then what will we gain by killing our brother and covering up the mother? Let's sell him to these Ishmaelites. Then we won't have to hurt him. After all, he's our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. So they sold Jacob to the Ishmaelites or Midianite traders for 20 pieces of silver, and they took him to Egypt. Reuben was not around at this time. When he came back to the well and found that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes in sorrow. He returned to his brothers and said, the boy is not there. What am I going to do? Meaning he thinks Joseph escaped. I doubt they even told him, oh, see what we did, though. We sold him for 20 pieces of silver. I doubt they told Reuben what they did. Reuben thought maybe he escaped or something happened. The boy is not there. What am I going to do? Maybe now they would have told him, oh, see what we did. But when he looked, he didn't see the boy. He had no idea. Because he wasn't there when Joseph was sold. It's so sad. Then they killed a goat and dipped Joseph's robe in its blood. They took the robe to their father and said, we found this. Does it belong to your son? He recognized it and said, yes, it is his. Some wild animal has killed him. Yeah, he thought some wild animal killed him. My son Joseph has been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes in sorrow and put on sackcloth. Sackcloth is what was used in mourning in those days. Then he mourned for his son a long time. all his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, I will go down to the world of the dead, still mourning for my son. So he continued to mourn for his son Joseph. He really, really loved Joseph. Right. And now Rachel was dead. So now he's going to transfer all that love to Benjamin. That's what I think. Hmm. They didn't think of their father when they were selling Joseph. I wonder if they thought if we remove this boy out of the way, our father will love us. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. And you see, none of them could console him. None. All of them came. So it means Jacob has more daughters aside from the one who was raped. So, anyways, he continued to mourn for his son Joseph. Meanwhile, in Egypt, the Midianites or Ishmaelites had sold Joseph to Potiphar, one of the king's officers, who was the captain of the palace guard or palace guard. Joseph must have been a really good looking 17-year-old, like an Adonis, very, very muscular, tall, all that with brownie muscles. For the king's captain of the palace guard to have bought him to be interested. Yeah, that's the slave I want. Because a palace guard won't want a weakling to serve him. Not even a palace guard, the captain of the palace guards or palace guards. Like, English is not my first language. So, anyways, this whole chapter just being very eye opening. Keep your dreams to yourself, plans, aspirations until you're ready, before you share with people. And then, even if you need to share it, you need to know the people you're sharing it with, maybe with discernment. Because someone could be your sibling, someone could be a dear friend that you think loves you and all that, and it turns out that they hate you, like Joseph and his brothers. So, discernment is very important to know who to share such things with. But then you also have the option of keeping it to yourself. Because people can discourage you, they can do so many things, and that dream will not come, that dream, that aspiration will not come to pass. It might not be out of hatred, like I said. It could be they might not understand it, and then they discourage you, so fears, worry, doubts, and whatnot into your head, and you listen to them, and it goes. And as always, I keep saying it, I'm not a pastor, I'm just a Christian reading her Bible and trying to understand it. So this is Frances Reads the Bible. Goodbye and God bless you.